Hi students, in my Foundations of Education class EDLF 201 is Doc Farron. Look forward to getting with you, and we are gonna have a good time together. I hope that this will be your favorite class. It should be. I've sent you an email that reminds you what we plan to do together and why and how. This Foundations course comes early in your program, and it's a service course that we provide for the elementary education program, in a sense, in Ed Leadership and Foundations. And it's intended to be your favorite class. We're not going to teach you how to do classroom management. We're not going to teach you what to do with that kid who has a special need on the autism spectrum. We're not going to teach you things that you've got to know. We're going to teach you how to interrogate and prepare and present ideas and things that will help you be excited, have a sense of mission and purpose in this life. When was the last time you went to, or you heard about a real estate agent that passed away, and people went to his funeral and were amazed and interested because he was a realtor or whatever? Nothing wrong with being a realtor, but we've reserved that kind of love, that kind of honor, in a sense, for teachers. And so there are going to be a lot of people who assume you went into education because you weren't smart enough to be a realtor or smart enough to be a business major or whatever. And you know and I know that that's just not true. And so we're trying to help you understand the why you want to stay in this profession, why you want to live with the ultimate penury of low salaries and whatnot, why it is that you feel a sense of mission and purpose. Because you won't be universally loved. State legislators won't talk about you as a big thing that's good. And yet, public education, universal education, has been one of the greatest gifts developed in the United States by great thinkers and others. And compulsory public education is a universal right now under the United Nations Declaration of Rights and Freedoms. But we really started that ball rolling in so many ways. And so there are threats facing public education, external and internal. And so we're going to help you understand some of those things and maybe your role in helping things go better. So a lot of this is going to be about discussion. It's going to be about thinking and learning. This is going to be one of those times when you'll be together with a group of like-minded, mission-centered people that you can discuss and think about the things that will come up. Later you'll be a little more isolated, although there are new trends where we're providing professional learning communities, often at grade levels, a third grade or a fifth grade, that those 3 or 4 teachers get together and have transparency about their grades and whatnot. But we want you to have joy. My wife is she's been a Title I coordinator at the same school, but she's a kindergarten teacher, and I have been teaching for 4 or 5 years now, and kindergarten enrichment program at a school, the same school, for those kids who are a little beyond, they don't want to just color beyond the lines. They're within the lines. I mean, they're reading and doing other things, and so I teach and take them and have them quest and do great things, and I've learned a lot, and do learn a lot as I teach that. And so I know that teaching is just a wonderful thing, and the reason you don't get paid much for it is because you ought to pay to do it. You ought to pay to have the experience in some ways, people think. I know and you know that educators do pay. They provide a lot of things for their students, a lot of materials and things that aren't provided otherwise. Our first class now, I've sent you the email that talks about that, and in our first class we want you to come prepared to ask some questions and prepared to contribute, to think about public education as a creature of our state constitutions, as a creature of statutes and things. And we want you to be able to ask questions and come prepared to answer the questions I've asked you to be prepared to answer, and think about what are the issues that face public education. What's its viability going to be 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now? Will you be able to have a career in public education, coming in and out perhaps after having kids, or staying in all your life, or whatever? Or will that be changed radically, and why? And what should be our role? And how much should we care, and how should we do what we do? Well, also, I've given you, and so for our first class, we'll watch some videos and we'll discuss. So you don't need to bring any books if you haven't got them yet. The books you're going to have for this course include a foundations text that's made available to you, so you can find that in the bookstore. It only does portions of a foundation text, because we've found some are better than others. Some of these foundations texts are relatively trivial. They go over topics quickly, like it's simple and easy, and now you can read 5 pages and understand the life's work of a philosopher. But we'll supplement that. We'll also read 2 great books. Bob Bullow's First-Year Teacher, about the experiences of someone when they first entered the teaching force, and then first-year teacher 8 years later. And I don't want to. No, I'm not going to give away, but they're going to be. It's great, and even though it was done some years ago, it's fresh and almost the exact same issues and challenges today, to try to help you prepare and think about it, and in a large measure, so that you have a way to enter this great profession. When you enter med school, I have a nephew that's entering med school now, and physician's assistant school, I think, and some others. They do the white coat ceremony that inducts you. You don't yet have your degree, but they give you your white coat, and they'll recite the Hippocratic Oath and other things. We'll probably try to find our way to recite some kindergarten jokes. It seems. One of my kindergartners told me, Mr. Farron, what's pink and doesn't, this was just last year, what's pink and has wheels? I said, I don't know, Levi, what? And he said, a pig. I lied about the wheels. And while I'm musing and laughing about that, he said, what's green and doesn't have wheels? I said, I don't know, Levi, what? He says, a sports car. I lied about the wheels again. So remember, we have kids that teach us good jokes and things. So come prepared to talk, come prepared to think, and laugh at my jokes, if you will. It's good for you. It's good for me, and especially when I retell a joke. Make sure you laugh then, because then you know that I thought it was especially funny. And plan to make this your favorite class, and I hope it will have some sort of traction to stick with you throughout your career when things get a little bit tough. You should think back on this noble profession you're engaged in. Do you think that a business magnate at the gates of heaven is going to be looked at the same way as a teacher? This is one profession that might get you into heaven. So look forward to being together with you. Remember about that jumper cable. Oh, because so much of this is legal, we're going to spend a lot of time on law. Not a lot, a segment, a pretty good segment on law, so that you're not at the mercy of people telling you folk law. You can't do this, you must do that. And so that's part of what we'll be doing too. And then remember, as I close now, that don't get angry about the enemies that we have in public ed. There are enemies out there for a host of reasons. We'll explore that to understand it better. Just like don't get angry like the starter cables that walked into a bar and said, now look, other people don't like to give me a drink. Are you going to serve me a drink in here, Mr. Bartender? The bartender says, jumper cables, jumper cables. Don't worry, I'll serve you. Just don't start nothing in here. Jumper cables, start nothing. All right, we will see you soon. See you Thursday at 4 o'clock. Take care.